Money FM 89.3. Best of breakfast. Morning Shot.
Thanks for joining us on Morning Shot with me, Audrey, Siek, and Emaad Akhtar. Now, do you know how to discern between a phishing email and a legitimate one? Well, it seems like a significant portion of our workforce might not.
Yeah, and I've been guilty of that in the past as well, so I can't say much. During the recent 2-week exercise SG Ready conducted by MINDEF and the Singapore Business Federation, over 30% of the phishing emails were opened, and about 17% of over 4,500 employees clicked on phishing links in emails sent to them.
The exercise involved about 200 businesses, of which over 80% were small and medium-sized enterprises. And interestingly, the click rates for both large companies and SMEs were closely tied, showing that both are equally susceptible to phishing attacks. For more insights, we're joined by Liu Yang, Professor of Computing and Data Science at NTU. Good morning, Professor. Welcome to The Breakfast Show.
Yeah, good morning, host.
It's great to have you on to talk about this because maybe we're not as savvy as we think. So 30% of the phishing emails opened, 17% of recipients clicked on the phishing links. Definitely not a small number. So what does that tell us about the state of cybersecurity awareness here in Singapore?
Yeah, that is quite correct. And this number tells us, that employees may be aware of cyber threat in theory, but many still struggling to recognize the phishing attempts in practice. And 30% open rate and 17% click rate. This is 8% point above the global average. And this is highlighting a huge gap between the awareness and actions, particularly in Singapore. And this suggests that the current training may not be fully equipped employees to detect the increasing sophisticated phishing tactics.
Yeah, Professor, how challenging is it to discern between a phishing email from one that's legitimate? What are some red flags or terms and phrases used in these emails that are telltale signs?
Well, this is a very good point, a very good question. And it is getting actually trickier as attackers sharpen their skills and using AI techniques. But here are some reliable red flags to watch for. The first one is generic and inconsistent greeting. Typically, the legitimate emails usually greet you by your names. Right? If you get emails like dear customer, dear friend, and it is a obvious warning sign. The second one is typically these phishing emails using the urgent and threatening language. If your inbox suddenly show up emails, act now and face account doom. And it is a tactic to rush you for your decision making. And the third one is suspicious links and attachments, and always hover over links before clicking. If the URL looks fishy or doesn't match the sender's domain, it's likely a phishing alert. The fourth one is the spoofed email address and brand impersonation. So attackers often use subtle misspelling or look like domains. If your bank email address appears slightly off, check twice. The last one is for the language, so the grammar and formatting issues. While some phishing emails are getting polished, many still reveal their amateurish site and odd phishing of typos like resume written in a rush. So, for instance, an email that mimics an internal memo but contains awkward language or formatting inconsistency is a very obvious kind of warning sign. So think of as someone trying too hard to intimidate you, but failing in the details. So these are the kind of the quick summaries for the hints.
Yeah, Prof, I'm also curious if phishing emails have also occurred on websites that use HTTPS, which is on the surface a secure protocol to deceive users into thinking the site is legitimate. Is that common as well?
Yes, this is very common because there are all different ways. So they want to, you click the link and then you potentially input your credentials so they can steal your information.
All right, so those were great tips on what to look out for, but let's get to the purpose of these attacks. What exactly do these phishing emails try to fish for? And in worst case scenarios, what could a company lose?
Phishing emails are not just about getting your attention. They are about getting your sensitive information. And here are what they often target at. The first one is the login credentials, your username and password to access the critical system. The second one is the financial information, bank details, credit card numbers, and basically anything that can help empty your wallet. And the third one is the data, the personal data, sensitive details like social security numbers, identity information. And the fourth one is the business email compromise. So sometimes the goal isn't the data to steal, but tricking you into the authorization fraudulent transactions. The last one is the ransomware risks. Clicking on the malicious link might not only steal your data, but also could lock you out of your own systems until you pay it up. So in the worst case scenario, a successful attack can lead to a massive financial losses and a data breach that reduce your company's reputation and even the operation shutdown. So it's like handing over your house keys to a burglar and then wondering why your front door won't open. So the worst case scenario is something you may not want to imagine. Basically, the attacker can do whatever they want. If they go into your system and get everything out of you and delete data and lock your computer, so the consequence is something you may not want to imagine.
Yeah, Prof, I'm sure most sectors are susceptible or vulnerable when it comes to phishing attacks, but any in particular that are more so than others, and why is that?
Yes, absolutely. Some of the sectors are more attractive targets for the cyber criminals. Government public sectors, because they have all the sensitive citizen data and the national information. Healthcare, patient data is incredibly valuable on the dark web. The financial services and the retail, so this is because they are dealing with a lot of volume of transactions and financial data. Web3 and crypto, so because the digital asset is all about money, right? Any breach into the crypto world means a significant financial loss. And even the universities and the research institutes are the potential targets because there are a lot of high-value IPs. We have seen many kind of incidents happen in the universities to steal IPs. And sometimes even the SMEs, because lack of the robustness security resources, and the SME often are softer target. So in short, phishing isn't, I think the phishing doesn't discriminate. So if there's a valuable data, you're on the hit list. It's like the buffet for hackers, so every industry has something on the menu.
All right. And we also have more insights from this exercise. Only 5% of employees reported the phishing emails as compared with the global industry reporting rate of 18%. And we can't ignore the fact that most companies already have some sort of cybersecurity awareness training in place. So does this point to a deeper underlying issue here, you think?
Yes, I think the low reporting rate hints at some kind of underlying challenge. The first one is the ineffective training. Training may not be too theoretical, lack of hands-on, and the practical sessions need to be built with the real-world business skills. The second one is the fear of the reputation's loss. So the employees may worry about being penalized or embarrassed if they mistakenly click on the phishing email. It's like being kind of scolded for asking, is this email legit or should I run? Right? The third one is insufficient reporting process. I think people may not know what is the right way to report the phishing emails and how to have a kind of a process for it. And also the last one is lack of feedback loop. If the employees doesn't see any follow-up or improvement from the report, they may feel that their effort vanish into a kind of black hole. So a better approach might include practical training, simplify the reporting process, and even gamify the reporting system to encourage participations without fear of judgment.
Yeah, Prof, let's come to prevention then. The stats clearly show that there's a gaping hole in awareness when it comes to phishing attacks on the part of workplace workplaces as well as employees. What sort of measures or programs must companies, both big and small, have in order to mitigate the impact of a breach if it happens? What is missing in existing training modules right now?
Well, this is very good question. So companies need a multi-layer defense strategy if you really want to do it right to limit the kind of phishing attack. So the first one can be kind of effective ongoing training. So regular scenario-based kind of simulation help keep employees on their toe. The strong incident response plans, this should include immediate containment measures like isolating compromised systems and protocol for investigating and removing from the attack. Think of it as having a fire drill plan, but for the digital fire. The third one is advanced security technology. So deploy AI-driven threat detections, robust email filtering, multi-factor authentication. So this is actually very important. Most of the big organizations already on this, and continuous monitoring. The fourth one is data backup and third-party risk management. Regular backup ensure the data recovery, the possibility for data recovery, while managing risk from suppliers and partners prevent one weak links from the compromising the supply chain. The fifth one is encouraging a reporting culture. A no-blame environment where employees can report suspicious emails without fear can make a huge difference. And after all, nobody likes being the bearer of bad news unless they are rewarded for it.
Yeah, Prof, are there any tools or browser extensions that can help detect phishing emails?
I think modern softwares, the email clients and browsers, they have already building all these sophisticated email, the filters. If you want to have a dedicated kind of tools and extensions, I believe there are plenty of them, and some of the good ones, maybe you need to pay. I think this is not about the two extensions. I think the more important thing is the awareness for everyone when they see the email. So as long as you keep kind of extra alert when you read your emails, I think this is the most effective way.
All right, so bearing the need for awareness in mind, with cyber attacks becoming very commonplace nowadays and AI also getting more advanced, what's your assessment of how ready our businesses are when it comes to fending off next generation cyber threats beyond phishing?
I have to see this is, I think, evolving threats. Will the AI getting more and more intelligent? I think we are using AI for the cybersecurity more on defense side, but obviously we have seen many more sophisticated attacks using AI, and the phishing is actually the front line of the battlefield. I think more and more organizations really need to understand the power of AI, not only on the defense side, not only on the utility side, but actually on the cybersecurity, the attacking side. So this kind of understanding is fundamentally important for the company to get them ready. But I think most of the company have built some basic cybersecurity framework, and but I think this is far from enough. I think many things need to be done. For example, you need to have the kind of evolving security technology. So the traditional measure, I think now may not be enough. Companies need to adopt like AI-driven kind of solutions to fight with the AI-based attacks. The second one is the human oversight remains crucial. So despite technology advance, I think sometimes you still need a security expert to make the right call. And another one is the holistic zero trust strategy. So a zero trust kind of approach where the user, where every user and device must be verified and help ensure that no one is ever assumed as safe by default. So this is actually very much helpful. So overall, I think the process is being made where the business need to remain agile. So you need to continuously invest in the security with understanding that more and more attacks are coming. No matter it's phishing emails, no matter it's ransomware, and all this kind of attack will, I think, improve themselves, and we need to keep working on our own kind of homework to make it right.
Yeah, well, staying agile is key. This was an eye-opening conversation. Clearly, cyber threats are not just an IT problem, but something every one of us needs to be aware of so we can better protect our data and businesses. Professor, it was great to have you on the show. Thanks so much for your insights.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a good day. That was Liu Yang, Professor of Computing and Data Science at NTU. Stay with Money FM 89.3.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.